Hey y'all, and welcome to PolitiBrawl. My name is Brian, and this kid wears this anti-woke shirt to school, but the school's response is absolutely asinine.
But why is this so important for you to wear these shirts?
It's important for me because it's important for people to be able to know their rights and to be able to express them.
Well, one thing that I was wondering here, and this will have to go to your attorney, that the students really don't have an absolute free speech right. We know that from the court cases on this. They have limited rights as students at school. So how are you going to overcome that, even putting aside the dispute with the language on the shirt? Logan.
Well, it's not an absolute right. The Supreme Court has been clear since 1969 that students do not shed their constitutional rights when they enter the schoolhouse gate. And going back to 1943, the Supreme Court affirmed the right to differ on things that touch the heart of the existing order. And that's what Liam really wants to do. He wants to respond to the speech that's already going on in the school about issues relating to gender. The school promotes pride events and the like. Liam has the right to speak on that issue as well, and we look forward to continuing to represent his rights in court.
Liam, what's the reaction among your classmates to what you were trying to do with this T-shirt deal?
Among all of my classmates, everyone was actually extremely supportive of my decision, and they all thought that what I'm doing was right.
Well, of course they support him, because he's right. That shirt is correct. There are only two genders. Now, sexuality is a spectrum, but when it comes to are you a male or female, basically we know. Your DNA is going to tell us. And it only comes out to two possibilities.
Considering what had happened.
Are people afraid to speak out, Liam? They're afraid to support you publicly?
I guess since some things like this don't often happen that much, then I guess some people do definitely need someone to give them a bit of a push or someone to act as a leader.
Now, Logan, this Judge Talwani is an Obama appointee. Even he concedes that Liam's speech is being restricted, saying that although LM's speech as to the specific message displayed on the shirt has been restricted while at school, LM has been and remains free to convey his message elsewhere. So, Logan, he can speak elsewhere, so that makes it okay, I guess, to limit his First Amendment rights, given the definition of who is being targeted here.
Yeah, I mean, the government likes to make that claim, but it just isn't right. It's not true that just because you can speak in one area, the government can make you be silent in another one.
You know, I'm actually glad this kid's going to court. Not because the school put him in a situation where he has to defend his rights, but because a good lawyer is worth 1,000 protesters. Although 1,000 times 0 is still 0. But regardless of that, having a good lawyer on your side to make your case for you is one of the most important things that we can have in a free society. And folks, we currently have our friends over at the Alliance Defending Freedom trying their best to take on the FDA in front of the Supreme Court. Years ago, the FDA allowed this really unsafe abortion drug to hit the shelves, and it sent women running to the emergency room. It was a terrible drug. And now, after years of evidence, the Alliance Defending Freedom is heading to the Supreme Court to make their case, but they need some help along the way. They need someone to give $5, $10, $25 because we don't have the apparatus that the left does. We don't have the ACLU. We have a bunch of smaller groups, and the ADF, the Alliance Defending Freedom, needs your help to cover their legal fees in front of the Supreme Court. Now, fortunately, a good society is a litigious society. Although we might overdo it now, don't we? But when it comes to this kid and this lawyer who has done a fantastic job defending him and helping him on the way, this kid does give me some hope that the kids are actually all right. Gen Z is proving themselves to be unusually conservative, or at least centrist and quiet about it, because they have been force-fed down their throats decades of woke propaganda. And I do mean decades. I remember as a kid reading Time magazine for kids, And it was nothing except save the rainforest, that the polar ice caps were melting, and the war crimes in Darfur. For some reason, they thought that was kid appropriate. We have been fed a pipeline of sludge and propaganda, I think, since at least my experiences in 2002 when I was in the 3rd grade. And to now, we have these kids who are seeing what is being pushed on them and they're reacting to it. And in this case, this kid's clearly conservative, but I think many are more centrist and just don't care about politics. They want to be kids. And that's why in the classroom, you shouldn't wave the Christian flag unless you're a private school. You shouldn't wave the BLM flag. You shouldn't wave the trans flag. You shouldn't wave the pride flags unless you are outside the bounds of a government school. Because kids deserve to have a neutral education system. And this school clearly doesn't want that. That's why this kid's going to court. I really hope he wins, along with my friends over at the ADF. We need some legal victories here because our greatest bastion is not in the White House. It's not in the Capitol building. It's not in our monuments. It's in the Supreme Court. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on PolitiBrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.